position-by-position matchup for both the Giants and the Patriots that will be in the newspaper, and then they'll predict the the game and the outcome and stuff. So I think it's going to be a great great reads all through the weekend. Naturally, we do have some great news topics, and one of the best stories we're preparing is we had an incident the other day. We ran on the front page where a Westford boy, he was in a car chase with police. I don't know if you read that. He had broken his electronic bracelet that he had been under because he had been on probation for walking into Neshoba Valley Technical High School with a pellet gun in October. Well, we go back and we take a look at this boy's case, and we try to determine how he ended up in a public school when he was originally in a special ed collaborative, which was for a special people who have certain problems, emotional or physical problems, and we've uncovered an alarming record search that even the district attorney Jerry Leone is very upset about, and how one school failed to provide another school with the records, the proper records and documentation. Wow. And you know what? Okay, the boy did make a mistake, and maybe he has a violent history, but there is a problem there. But for any school just to take this boy and dump him on another without telling the other authorities, why this boy is in this situation, well, you know what? That's reprehensible. Yeah. This boy could have caused a lot of harm to himself and others. And I was in the school that day in October when this boy brought the gun in. At the time, no one knew it was a pellet gun. He was tackled by an assistant principal. There was a lockdown in the school. I have to give credit to the Westford police. They responded immediately. But it was very anxious moments when you hear a report there's someone in the school with a gun walking through the corridors. So this was, once again, the Sun takes a look at this story. Our reporter, Sarah Favat, and I think people will want to read this story to see, some of the things that are happening that shouldn't happen in our public schools.
Well, I couldn't agree more, and I found a lot of interesting reading in the Lowell Sun over the last week or so, whether it be the Brady story or and I'm looking forward to this story as well. What I find interesting is also the Lowell Sun's online media presence, and the fact that I don't typically read blogs, but I've been getting more interested in them, and I think one of the things that I noticed was, in particular, was the posting I think you had on Facebook that you're going to start a wine blog. Can you tell us a little about that?
Well, this has been underway for 3 weeks, and it's going to be called Wine Novice. I don't expect to be, I'm not an expert in wines, but I've become very, very intrigued over the last 4 years. My trips to Italy and Napa Valley about the, that wonderful, wonderful fruit, the grape, that's been around since the Egyptian times. And it's going to be, I'm going to engage the public in this. I'm going to talk about value wines, what I think of value wines. It's not going to be about high-priced Chateau Mouton Rothschild, which you have to pay $2,200 a bottle for. Ooh. No, this is going to be sharing. I'm interested in food pairings. What goes well with wine? What enhances the excitement? And so I hope to learn from people who are out there who know more than me. But I'm going to do some videos, and that's what I'm in the process of doing right now. We're putting together some segments. So when we start this, you can follow along and learn if you want, and also participate and say what you think. So hopefully we will debut that sometime next week. We are shooting in the process of shooting the videos now.
Well, I think that's exciting.
I've just been fascinated by it, and I think people will enjoy it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it because every so often I'll have some close friends at the house, and we'll have, pick four bottles of wine, and I'll put them in bags, and I'll A, B, C, and D, and we'll rate the wines, and pair them up with different cheeses. And I'm a relative novice as well, but I do really enjoy. I'm a red wine fan. I'm not too big on the whites, but I do very much enjoy the reds. And you know what? 9 times out of 10. you will find, I have found, at least with the people that I enjoy, who have varying experiences with their palates with red wines. That it's often the cheapest bottle of wine I find that ends up being the one that people like the most. So I do think, and I would agree with you that often you can find some very affordable and great wines out there for not a lot of money.
Well, interesting story you say that, John, because I tasted a wine out in California. It cost $10.99 a bottle. Wow. It was a Fumé Blanc, which I was never a big white wine fan, but in the setting, in the winery, it was spectacular. And I brought some bottles back, and I've just asked my friends, just to taste it, and they've been overwhelmed by the fruit, the aroma of it, and it's a great thing for light cheeses and stuff. So it was a fantastic wine. And then I just had a Riesling last weekend. It cost $10.99. It was from the Moselle Valley in Germany.
Wow.
And it was just fantastic. So I'm like you, I'm a big red. I love the Cabernets, the Sangiovese grape, the Super Tuscans.
Yep.
But now I'm just circling back just a little. I like a good Chardonnay, especially a buttery one,
Yeah.
And so it's interesting. And like you, I do a couple of wine tasting with my friends and stuff. I tell you, it's fantastic.
It is. It's a great way to spend the night.
At your home, you could do that, and it's great.
Yeah, it is. And so what we'll do is we'll rate our favorite bottles, and we'll submit them to you, and hopefully we can get some interest in it. But George, you get a couple comments before we let Jim go?
Yes, Jim, thank you very much for having the Hellenic American Academy 3rd and 4th graders show their patriot pride.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for that coverage.
They do a lot of good things, and we're very receptive to any school that sends us things or sends us about their events, and they take part in all our activities that we promote here at the Sun. So we got great participation.
Okay, well, when you said that, I'm going to just come in with another segment saying the Hellenic American Academy has open house February 13th, 9 a.m. to 11. If you could put that on your community bulletin board, that would be greatly appreciated.
Yeah, that's great. No, that would be good.
The other big thing that I think is coming up, I think you're doing it right now, is Bobby Christakis signing a book contract?
Yes, I believe he is. Yes, and there was talk in the. I mean, I think we did. I don't know if it was a column item in the past where he was thinking that might also help him with a movie deal.
Yes.
Did you hear that too?
Oh, yes, that's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So he's a very interesting man, and he had a great career in boxing and stuff, and so that should be not only a great read, but it would be a great story to tell and focus more on Lowell.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
that's always great.
Well, you had a nice article about the Golden Gloves coming up for the final 2 Greater Lowell and Central New England Novice Championships and the Open Class Championships on February 7th. I think those are going to be exciting events.
Yeah, the attendance has been real well because the weather's been mild. We haven't had any cancellations like we have had in the past. And I would urge everybody out there, in your listening audience. I mean, those are such a great take. There aren't any newspapers except for in the Midwest now, and we have good, in Omaha that still do these championships. And the Sun is still proud to be a sponsor, Lowell Sun Charities. And it's an experience, George. You've been there. I mean, it's like a social night out. You go to a restaurant or a pub in the downtown and go there. I mean, it's just a fantastic feel. And I would urge everybody, even newcomers to Lowell, to try it.
Well, Jim, let me tell you, I've been going my entire life. I actually have an uncle who won the Golden Gloves in 1964. A special shout out to my cousin way down in Connecticut, Wink Farrow. His father, Bob Farrow, won the Golden Gloves in 1964, and it's been a big part of our life in the McDonald family for a number of years.
I think he came from Chelmsford, didn't he?
He came from Chelmsford originally. Yep.
I think he was the class of '56. at Chelmsford High School.
Very well could have. I don't know, but yeah, there's a
there.
lot of history there, and I think it's great. Well, Jim, I want to thank you for calling in this morning. We appreciate it and look forward to many, many more call-ins in the future. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you.
Now, wait a minute. You've been asking everybody for a prediction on the game.
Oh, give it to us. Give it to us.
When it comes down to it, I really don't care who wins or loses, but I'm going to tell all the pool players out there that the numbers are going to be 0 and 4. Those are going to be the winning numbers, 0 and 4. So I wish everybody out there good luck and a great weekend.
Well, I wish you had picked 1 and 8, but thanks a lot, Jim.
All right,
thank you so much,
Ladies and gentlemen, the Editor's View with Jim Campanini. We want to thank him live here on WCAP, sponsored by Salvatore's Restaurants. Salvatore's also would like to announce its first annual father-daughter dance will be Saturday, February 11th. This year from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. Space is limited, so please call 978-291-0220 to make your reservation. There'll be light refreshments and whatnot, and it'll be a good time. It's $20 per couple, both dad and daughter, and $10 for each additional child. Again, that's at Salvatore's in Lawrence at 354 Merrimack Street at Riverwalk Properties, their first annual father-daughter dance. So, George, tell again. We were talking Super Bowl. So, I didn't throw my pick in there yet. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's actually going to come down to a touchdown. I'm gonna go against the field of experts who think this is going to be a field goal game, and I think it's going to be a tie score with maybe 30 seconds left, and Tom Brady, our hero of heroes, will throw a game-winning touchdown. That's what I think. That's my prediction. So,
well, that's a good prediction, but I think for all us political analysts, I think Vincent Wilforge should become a candidate for president.
Is that right? Why do you say that, George?
Because he's the only guy that stands up to everybody.
There you go. Yeah, you're right. I also want to mention yesterday, I know we only got a few more minutes before we got to go. One of the great things I think that we're going to be able to do in this program is promote some of the things that are going on in the community. And I yesterday had the privilege, I was invited by Peter Lally from the Merrimack Valley Repertory Theater to come down and check out the Greater Lowell Boys and Girls Club. And I just had a fantastic experience down there. I've been down there before, but the Boys and Girls Club is such an integral part of the community. They have an after-school program that is from 2 to 8 at night, and they have got a Challenge 2012 where they have been presented with an exciting fundraising challenge. A local foundation is offered to match any donation of $500 or more by any individual corporation, and they'll match it by June 30th, 2012, up to $100,000. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for tuning in. It sounds like that's the cue of our music. We're getting ready to go. I want to thank everyone for listening. Thank you, George. Thank you to all our guests. And come back and listen every Friday from 11 a.m. to noon, the JMac and the Bear Show. We promise it will be one of the most exciting hours of radio. Thank you, and have a great day.
.980 WCAP, Lowell, Haverhill, Lawrence, Methuen, Nashua, and Salem.